And this is from, well, I guess the name, well, Utada, the Pink Blood Print?
Hey everyone, and welcome to my long-awaited review of Utada Hikaru's BAD Mode album. So I have done a full unboxing of several versions of this album so far, so I will link that down below if you haven't seen it. But I will just quickly go over the album art for you here. So Utada said that they wanted this album to look like a personalized shipment from the artist to you. So that's why we have a shipping label here on the back. And the deluxe edition is a bit different, like the album art is the same, but you receive the interior photos as loose like photo prints. They don't come in a booklet, but this CD only version does. So when you open up the CD, this shipping label is actually like the front. So this image is the back of the case, which we're associating with the cover of the album. And then the CD itself has this like hand labeled style of text on there. And we get a full lyric booklet, and this one is one of my favorite photos, included with Utada's son. I just really feel the love of their relationship through that photo. And then this one too is definitely my favorite, absolutely stunning, gorgeous photo of Utada there. So overall, not my most favorite album art ever by Utada, but it is really unique, and the photos with their son were definitely a welcome surprise. I didn't expect Utada to share their son this much, although it's not like, you know, we're not getting their son's full identity or anything through this release, but you know, Utada is on the cover, he is on a song in here. It's on 2 songs, and yeah, I think that's really sweet, and I really feel the relationship through this release. You can check out my unboxing. The vinyl record is still to come out, so I'm going to be unboxing that as well as all of the other Utada Hikaru records, which are coming out very soon. So yeah, I'll link everything down below that I'm going to be talking about in this video. So I'll be honest with you guys right off the bat here that I've been putting off this review for a reason. At first I thought it was just because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to make the review off the digital version, because as you know, we did get a staggered release where the digital streaming version came out about a month before the physical release of BAD Mode. And then time kept going by, so I thought, well, I'll wait till I have the physical release and I can do the album review. And then I got the album and I thought, I'm still not feeling like making the review yet. I let even more time pass. To be honest with you, I tend to get like pretty depressed in the winter. There's not a ton of sunlight here. It's blisteringly cold a lot of the time, and yeah, I just was feeling really down. And now that we're here at the very end of March, spring is coming, and I started to feel a lot better. My opinions on the album didn't really change, so yeah, that I guess is kind of giving you a hint that I'm not as obsessed with this album as I expected to be, and I didn't really know how to like parse out my feelings on that, because in a way I feel like disappointed in myself more so than the album, but I just can't help but feel like I don't love this album as much as I loved Fantôme and Hatsukoi. Before you click off this video, in no way am I trying to say that I hate this album. I still love it, and there's a lot of really great stuff on here. It's just been very difficult for me to completely form my opinion through the whole like seasonal affective disorder, and trying to figure out like if it was actually the production value or the writing behind the album that I just wasn't like connecting with. I still don't really know. I think it is probably both, but there's still a lot of stuff I love on this album. And I think another factor in that is that there's so many old singles on here that I've already listened to these songs to death, and like I said in my like I'm so disappointed video, that there's not a lot of album content that was original for this release. However, when the album finally did drop digitally, I was super excited. I was actually really blown away by the tracks that we got on the album, so I will get to it like track by track, but one of the songs is 11 minutes long, so that in a way made me feel like that really made up for the lack of album content. Yeah, I guess that's kind of like my overview review, but if you would like to stick around for the rest of the video, I really appreciate you. So I will get into my track by track review now. So the album opens up with the title track Bad Mode, and I can never decide if I really like this or if it kind of like annoys me sometimes when artists do this when like the title track opens the album. But here I really liked it. Bad Mode, the song, the single and the video kind of coincided like right before the digital drop of the album, so that made a lot of sense. Utada has talked about their motivation behind this song and that they wanted to make a city pop feeling song. I actually haven't listened to a ton of city pop. I am familiar with it, but probably not to the extent where I can comment on like how successful this song was at recreating a city pop sound. I don't think I made an individual video about the single either, so I think I talked about the lyrics a bit in my previous news video, but there was quite a bit of like talk among the fandom because of the lyrics in the song. Utada does mention, here's diazepam, we can each take half of. I believe it's an anxiety drug, like Xanax, and a lot of people were very shocked by this, as Utada also mentions rolling one up instead. So I thought that was very like cheeky. And Jody Milner, who is the band manager, I believe, from Laughter in the Dark, and he also plays various instruments on this record and has been working with Utada for several years now, is credited as a co-writer on this song. So I'm kind of wondering if he had a part in that or like where exactly that came from. But a lot of the background information, like Utada talking about the city pop feel, has come from an episode of Liner Notes Plus on Spotify, which is a Japanese like behind the scenes for music production show. And Utada did one of the first episodes. I believe the show just like started. There's like 5 or 6 episodes out now. It was really special because it's a Japanese show, but Utada did 2 episodes, one in Japanese and one entirely in English for us international fans. And that's something that has come up time and again with all the releases off this album, where Utada is obviously pushing hard to include us in this album release and the singles and all the information and interviews that are coming up for it, which has been really, really amazing. And I feel like I've really gotten to know Utada a lot more through this release. So anyway, a lot of the background information and meaning and stuff behind the music I have gotten from Utada themselves, the Liner Notes Plus, and other interviews, and all that stuff will be linked down below. So if you haven't checked those out, make sure you absolutely do that. Maybe that was another factor why I wasn't like super motivated to make my review, because I usually include a lot of my own speculation and investigation into the songs in my reviews, and then that kind of gotten like removed in a way through Utada's explanations, which I really appreciate as a fan, but at the same time, I knew in my review I would just be regurgitating like a lot of the information that Utada has already provided. I've been trying to learn a lot about songwriting these past few years, and I used to think that songwriting was always very like personal and the words came first and the artists were always like describing their personal lives in the lyrics. But as time has gone on and Utada has explained a lot more about their songs, and I've heard other artists talking about it, that I realized that that's not usually the case, and that the melodies come first most of the time, and then the artists are like kind of just riffing on that to come up with the lyrics. And of course the lyrics come from their experience and their heart in a way, but often I hear artists saying, you know, when they're describing their songwriting process, like, that sounded cool, and that's how the song ended up that way. And like, I can only conclude that a lot of the songwriting process is just messing around with stuff until you think it sounds cool, and then there's the song. So yeah, I think I am definitely pulling back on my like deep dives into the meanings of Utada's songs, what I infer there, because it's not correct. So anyway, oh my god, back to the Bad Mode song. Bad Mode in Japanese is slang. It's kind of vague, but basically means like bad mood or depression or being in kind of a bad way. And the lyrics behind the song are describing Utada reaching out to someone to try to be there for them when they are in a bad mode. Utada talked a lot about how this came out of the pandemic. This is definitely like a pandemic album, and this is one of those cases where I mishear the lyrics and then like I end up wishing like what I heard were the actual lyrics. So like in the chorus I kept thinking at first Utada was saying, take what you want and more bad mode, do demo, but no, that's not it at all. But overall, I really enjoyed this song. I really enjoyed the traditional instruments used in it. It's not very synth heavy. Utada's vocals are very smooth as usual, and I love the mix of English and Japanese. It's a very sweet and endearing song. I really enjoyed the video as well, so we got a fully produced music video for this one. Again, I think I did talk about it a bit in the previous video, but the video actually really reminded me of Evangelion because it's very red, but Utada's wearing this like funky suit, and well, there's a few different outfits, but yeah, definitely check it out. And Utada talks about the making of that music video and how they filled up the set with water, and it's just very nice. Like, we've gotten a nice mix of different types of videos from this album. So yeah, Bad Mode, I really like this song. It really sets the mood for the whole album, and it's kind of vying for one of my favorite songs off the album, but it kind of like keeps changing positions, not quite up there in my top 2 or 3 yet. Maybe it'll change later on. Oh yeah, I almost forgot the swearing in this song. So Utada says near the end of the song, "Hope I don't fuck it up, hope I don't fuck it up again." And I don't know why I'm deliberately saying that like off key. Some people are very like titillated by that, and I was thinking like, is this the first time Utada has cursed or dropped an F-bomb on a song? And actually it's not. After I thought about it, I remembered that Utada covered Boulevard of Broken Dreams. There's a lyric in that she sings "What's fucked up" or "Everything's alright," I think the lyric is. But yeah, that's from a live stream from back in the day. The next song is Kimi Muchu, and I've already gone at length about how much I love this song. I love this song so much. I still really like it. I did a whole single focused video about this song. Yeah, so Kimi Muchu means I'm crazy about you. Utada said that they were not madly in love, or currently aren't, while working on this song, so they had to like make up these fantastical sort of like over dramatic feelings. And like I said before, I felt like it really matched the drama that it went along with. I didn't watch the drama, but from like the trailers I did see it, it seems to fit it really well. I just love like the movement in this song and the rolling stints, the bass, like it's just a really intriguing and like energetic composition. And the video I really like as well. I have talked about that as well, where it's sort of like Anata, where the band is working on the song and like there's some behind the scenes footage of everyone hanging out together. But I really loved how into the music the band was, and yeah, it really warms my heart to watch. The next song is One Last Kiss, the theme song from the final Evangelion installment, and this song is about a year old exactly now, I think. So again, I'm not going to go on at length on this, but again, this appears to be a very like fictionalized meaning behind this song, where Utada wanted to talk about someone that they would never ever forget. And even in the Liner Notes Plus show said that someone that even like on their deathbed will still remember and be thinking about. I just had to laugh when I heard that, like Utada bringing up the death and love thing again was like so funny. So yeah, I do really like the song, but I did listen to it to death when it came out. And I also really love the instrumental version of this song, so you can listen to the instrumentals on the single version. They're not on the album release. I usually never listen to instrumentals, and I really love the instrumentals in this by A.G. Cook. Utada talked a bit about collaborating with A.G. Cook as well, and I actually was not familiar with his music before this collaboration, and I checked it out, and it's not really like my thing from the couple of songs that I sampled, but I thought it was really interesting what they worked on together with this and how different it was from A.G. Cook's music, and it kind of just like leveled up Utada Hikaru's style. And Utada said that they look for collaborators that will kind of like have a back and forth with them, and yeah, I definitely like feel it coming through in the music. And so again, to mention the music video, I have done a whole dedicated video to the single as well, but Hideaki Anno directed this music video remotely, and the way Utada described it is that they kind of reversed the point of view from the song to the video, so where Utada is being filmed as like the person for someone else that they will never forget. And I think it's a really beautiful video, And Utada also mentioned that they did all of their own hair and makeup for it, and I was like seething because she looks so good at the video. There's like those close-up like beauty shots of her like lying on the floor, I think it was. There's like a couch one and a floor one, and yeah, they're just so beautiful. The next song is yet another single, Pink Blood. If you guys watch my analysis of this single, you will know that I was racking my brain over what in the world Pink Blood could mean. And I know a lot of other fans were wondering too, and then Utada finally explained it in the Liner Notes Plus show. Pink blood doesn't really have any meaning at all. So Utada basically explains it as a drink their friend made from, what the heck was it? Pink something and blood oranges? Pink champagne? Yeah, I think that was it. So when Utada went home after this get together, they kind of like sat down at their computer and banged out like some of the song and then like saved the file as the name of that drink shortened, and then it ended up just sticking basically. So I was like kind of disappointed by that explanation, but it makes for a very unique song, and I really enjoyed this song as well. I kind of didn't click with it as much as the other singles per se, but I really like the vocals from here, the second verse onward, and I can really appreciate the meaning behind the song about becoming, embracing who you are, and an aspect of coming of age and figuring out what your worth is, which is like actually rather humbling to hear from a 39-year-old mega pop star from Japan who is still like, I guess, unfolding that and figuring themselves out in that way. The video for this is really, really interesting. Yeah, very high production value, like artsy video, which we were kind of surprised by because we had gotten the two like quarantine style videos before this. But yeah, definitely kind of like an underappreciated single from my point of view. I feel like I need to listen to it a bit more, but also I really like the style of the song. Seems to draw a lot on what Utada presented on Deep River and Ultra Blue, so I really enjoyed that, and I really love the very ending of the song with the reversed vocals and how the synth kind of wraps up there. It's just very an interesting, cool noise. Okay, the next song is Time, and this song is now 2 years old. I can't believe it. So we got this song right in the early spring of 2020, I think it was. And I feel really corny about this, but I think this is still like my most favorite song on the album, even though it's like the first song we got that would end up on this album other than She Who Will Not Be Named Yet. But yeah, even though it's so old and I've listened to this song easily like 300 times, I love the song so much. It's just so well done. Like all of the synths and the, oh my god, just the vocal performance and the story behind it. So it's another one that Utada has explained further recently. And I think Utada like low-key have confirmed that this song is about their female best friends and kind of like that there could be something more than just friendly chemistry between them, and that they keep kind of like missing each other relationship wise. And Utada said this song was originally titled something after her friend's medication. A really interesting story actually, but yeah, to me that made me think that this song could be about that friend and Utada. I just love everything about this song. I've already gone on about it so much. To me, this is like leveled up Utada. Like everything Utada's like developed over the course of their career is just like compounding into this song, and it is like the best song to me. The next song is Kibun Janaeno, which is actually my second favorite song on the album as of recording this, which translates as Not in the Mood. And this is another song that's kind of like may as well be the title track. And Utada really shocked me by talking about how late in the recording process that this song was made. So this album dropped on January 19th on streaming services, and Utada was working on the song like after Christmas. So it was literally like weeks before the album was supposed to come out that this song was in development, which I find really funny, but I guess that's kind of like the digital age where you can, you know, be working on something up until the last minute and then put it out. So the song really reminds me of another artist I've talked about and compared to Utada a couple of times, who is Tori Amos, and it's rather like smoky and jazzy, and Utada actually wrote it in a bar partially, and I just love the whole storytelling in the song. Is so beautiful and bittersweet, and I was kind of struck by how simplistic the chorus is, but it's still really effective and emotive. I really liked Utada's story about the woman who asked Utada to buy her poem at this bar where she was writing outdoors. How the environment and that interaction just were like directly transposed into the lyrics. And this part too, where Utada is singing as that woman like goes up into the head voice. Somehow I hope that woman knows she's immortalized in the song now. And then maybe most notably, Sun Tada does appear on this track. So kind of after the bridge, he gets on the mic, and I just love how sweet his little voice is, and the way he sings not in the mood. It just reminded me so much of Utada. I was like, oh, he sings exactly like her, like maybe he listens to her music, and yeah, when he sings not in the mood today, it just really reminded me of his mother. So it's really cute. Oh yes, I forgot to mention the other track, Keep Hirazan, we already went over in Bad Mode. He's listed in the credits here in the actual liner notes, but Sun Tada is on Bad Mode on the violin. So Utada said that he had just started to take violin lessons, and I can't really hear him on the track, but he is there. So yeah, I really like the outro to the song also. The juxtaposition of the ambient synth and the drums. The next song is Dare ni mo Iwanai, which translates to I Won't Tell. So this is another older single. It came out I think a month after Time, so it's almost 2 years old as well. And honestly, I kind of slept on this song a little bit. Like, not that I disliked it or didn't listen to it, but like Time just overshadowed it so badly that I really didn't give it enough credit. I don't know if that's what I mean, but oh my god, this song is so good. I still don't really like it as much as Time, but just, oh my god, like all of the instruments in this. Utada paired up with some really talented musicians to work on this song also. So my boy Nariaki Obukuro has co-produced on this, and he's very like synth heavy type of guy. And then she also worked with, oh yeah, Will Fry, who, if you guys remember when the song came out, said that he used like every single instrument at his disposal on this track. So there's like many different types of percussion and like shakers and stuff on this track. And then there is also a saxophone by Soweto Kinch, whom I had never heard of before, but he, I guess, is rather famous. Utada said that she actually met him at his live performance, I think in London. And every time Utada has talked about going to a live performance, they also mention meeting the artist after, like Skrillex, Ina Samayama, I think her friend Ruben also, that's how they met. So I've gotten this very strong impression that every single concert Utada goes to, she ends up meeting the artist. She's just like the VIP there. So yeah, Soweto also appears on the Bad Mode live that comes with the deluxe edition, which was also live streams. Well, not live stream, but it was streams, yeah. Bridge of this song is just, oh my god, it is so superb. Like, sometimes when I listen to the song, I just rewind back to this part. The next song is an album track, kind of. It is Fine Love. So many moons ago, we got a preview of Fine Love on the Shiseido Ultimune campaign, which Utada was in the commercial for. And then it just sort of like disappeared, faded away, and we never got a single release date. And then we never heard it until the album dropped. I was very pleasantly surprised by this song. I have to say the chorus, which was used in the commercial, didn't absolutely wow me. I was actually a little disappointed in it. It just wasn't up to my standards from I expect from Utada singles. I think her lyrics in some cases like kind of like too stereotypical, and then there's more like interesting ones mixed in where it's like, you know, not gonna park my desire, and I think on first glance, this song looks like it's all about relationships where, you know, because Utada's saying I'm gonna find love. But I think what Utada is actually saying is I'm looking for the love within myself, which is especially apparent in the verses. Also, this song is entirely in English. We kind of knew it was going to be in English because Utada had mentioned that they were working on a Japanese... Had they said... I don't remember if they said they had the Japanese version or the English version first, but Utada did mention that they were working on a couple of like English versions of songs while working on this album. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting that we got the full English version placed here on the like main content of the album, in between all of the other Japanese songs. A number of the songs also are like almost 50-50 mix. Of course, sometimes we usually get like the hook is in English, the rest of the songs in Japanese, but Utada has really been adding a lot more English, and they did mention for this album that they decided, you know, they're just gonna do whatever feels right on the songs. They've let go of this concept they previously had where like everything in Japanese had to be on the Japanese releases and then everything in English had to be on like these specific English albums. I did mention later in 2021 that Utada is really feeling more like an international artist now, and yeah, that kind of just like really confirmed that. And it really just makes sense as an American who is a Japanese star who now lives in London. Really makes sense if you think about like why would Utada continue making just Japanese music for a Japanese audience. So yeah, I actually really like the verses of this song even more than the choruses, which doesn't often happen. But I really like this like Y2K futuristic synth noise. Utada has this like specific like passion and grit to the vocals in the verses that I really like, especially in the second one. I love the part where she says, "Getting stronger isn't easy, baby." She just has that like little bit of vocal fry. It sounds so good. There's a little bit of discourse among fans about those lyrics where Utada says she's focusing on her therapy, which I called back in like I think 2018 or 2019 where Utada was on that NHK show that was like the making of Hatsukoi. Yeah, I'm really happy for Utada that Utada is talking about that openly and also working on themselves in a supportive environment like that. Yeah, the fans were also very confused about this trainer situation. Like some fans on Reddit were saying, oh, they're training their brain in therapy, but that's not the case. Utada did explain this during like lockdown times. She was doing like Pilates workouts with Vicky. So again, another in real life situation that just gets plopped directly into the lyrics, and I hope Vicky knows that she's in Utada's song. A lot of fans were comparing this song to Kylie Minogue's style, and I honestly haven't really listened to her that much, but this song really reminded me of Madonna, who I am a fan of. Overall, the cadence of the song and the way Utada uses their voice in this was very Madonna-esque to me. So next we have the song that everyone seems to hate now. It is Face My Fears, which was produced with Skrillex. And I feel like I am the only one who really likes this song. I see so many fans like shitting on this song and like cheering on A.G. Cook for collabing with Utada, and I don't understand why people hate Skrillex so much nowadays. I don't really know that much about him. I've listened to like 2 songs by him, kind of similar to A.G. Cook where it's not like so much my vibe, but I really enjoyed this song, and I am a Kingdom Hearts fan, and I felt like this song like was perfect for the Kingdom Hearts 3 opener. Like this whole part, the way they did the visuals for the opening of the game was like amazing. Like, and I've gotten like a number of messages from you guys like complaining about this song, because I also was complaining that it was featured 3 times on this album release, which I still stand by. Like that's absolutely unnecessary, but a lot of you are saying how much you dislike Skrillex with that complaint as well, and I just don't understand why. I feel like he just got too popular, so then it made people dislike him. Skrillex's big song was Bangarang, I think, and that was really popular like 10 years ago or whenever that was, and I guess that probably made people dislike it. I guess I can kind of understand that. I used to feel this way too, where if something I liked that I thought was kind of like niche blew up or became really popular, then I would stop liking it. And honestly, that's like kind of immature. So I don't know, like if you have like a legitimate reason for like disliking this song, then definitely feel free to let me know. Personally, I still really like this song. Didn't need 3 versions of it on the album release, and I don't have any like hate towards Skrillex. And on top of that, another reason why you should not hate Skrillex is because he is a huge fan of Utada Hikaru, unlike A.G. Cook. I don't know if he's a fan of her or not, but years and years and years ago, Skrillex said Utada Hikaru is his favorite artist ever, like tweeted about it, and they had like a Twitter exchange, and then they finally met like years later at a music festival, and then after that they decided to collab on this release. So to me that like makes me happy too, is like another major fan of Utada Hikaru gets to work with Utada. So why would you hate on that? I don't know, that's just my opinion obviously. I believe this version was re-recorded with new vocals. If you listen to the original single version, Utada is singing a little bit more softly upon the intro, and then this part, the first chorus, she's singing a lot more softly. And then the ending also, the vocals are a little bit more clear. On the single version, the ending vocals had like quite a bit of distortion on them, and this one has a little less. So I'm pretty sure it's a re-record, and I do think I prefer it to the single version now. The next song is Somewhere Near Marseille, with a Japanese title, Marseille Nari, I think it is. And this song was probably the biggest like whoa wow factor on this album, really unexpected at 11 minutes, and it's a house track. Utada said that they've been listening to a lot of house leading up to releasing this album, so that's kind of where this came from. And this song was co-produced by Sam Shepard, who worked on a number of other tracks on this album, and Will Fry appeared again on the percussion instruments. And Utada is credited also with the keyboards programming, shaker, and Korean wave drum, which I don't even know what that is, but that is very interesting. So kind of like Kibun Janaeno, this song has some rather simplistic but effective lyrics. It's just this one part that I don't really like, where she says, "In the twilight, in the sunshine." Those lyrics just stand out to me as kind of like vague, and they're just like floating there without any context. I just wish that she had used some more specificity there, and maybe some more like descriptive lyrics. A lot of fans are describing this as like the 2-hour vacation part 2, which I find funny. This song has a little bit of like a tropical, like warm, coy, and flirtatious feeling, and I really enjoy it. I've never gotten bored of it at 11 minutes. Like, I don't know, somehow stay like keyed in for the whole 11 minutes. I'm not a big house fan either, but there is something like mesmerizing about it that makes you kind of just zone out and go with the beat for like however long it seems to continue on for infinity. So that's actually it for the main content of the album, and now we're heading into the bonus tracks. So the first one is Beautiful World, Da Capo version. This is one of those songs where it's totally not needed on this album release, but I did absolutely expect it to come out. So the original Beautiful World is like ancient now. What is it, like at 10 years old at this point? I do like this remix. I don't know if you'd classify this as a remix. This is another one where I think the vocals are new. The song starts off very haunting, and it's a nice version. I wouldn't say I like it more than the original, and I don't really go back to listen to this one very often. Kind of an aside here, but like the day after this single came out, I had this glitch in my phone or in Spotify where like every time I would close my phone or like put it to sleep mode, the song would start playing. It was haunting my phone. Even if I had Spotify closed, it would start playing. So Utada again collaborated with some other artists on this version. Nariaki Obukuro co-produced, and he also is credited with vocals on here, and I'm pretty sure I know where he is. I find the exact spot now, probably because I'm listening through my laptop, but there's a part where it sounds like he's harmonizing with Utada, but he's used this like pitched vocoded thing on his voice, which I recognize from his solo albums. Yeah, I guess like keep your ear out for that if you want. I don't know. So next up we have Kirei na Hito, which means a beautiful person, and in parentheses Fine Love. So it is the Japanese version of Fine Love. And I'm not totally sure how I feel about this version. It has really grown on me since it originally came out. At first I wasn't too impressed by it because the vocals are lacking a little bit of the performance from the English version. Like I was talking about in the English version, there's this like emotion and grit and vocal fry, and then that isn't present on the Japanese one. Utada's performance is a lot more placid on the verses. However, the more that I listened to it, the more that I kind of appreciated that rhythm or like There's just something about it that draws me into this version of the song. Yeah, I think the basic meaning behind the song is still present in the Japanese version, but it's just not delivered as aggressively as the English one. So next up we have the English version of Face My Fears. And again, I like this song. I actually really enjoyed the English version of this song. I don't think I ever really talked about this single when it came out on my channel. It came out at like a really bad time in my life, so I wasn't really making that many videos. There's something about the like reverse of the English lyrics here. It's like, breath, should I take a deep taste, what a bittersweet. There's something unique about that, and I really enjoy it. But again, I know a lot of you are just as annoyed as I am having 3 versions of the song on the album. I would be pretty much fine with just the 2 English and Japanese, except we get another one after this. So I feel like I need to come for the Kingdom Hearts stands again, because they've been so loud about Hikari, Simple and Clean and Passion and Sanctuary, that maybe the record label or Utada was like, oh, they love the Kingdom Hearts songs, let's put it on here again. Unfortunately, I'm gonna absolutely shit on the ending of this album. But the final bonus track on here is the A.G. Cook remix of Face My Fears, which is the English version. The beginning is fairly similar to the original. Nothing terrible in here, but I listened to this full remix one time, and that was all I ever needed to hear, because I got like a headache from this remix once the beat kicks in. It is just so obnoxious. I am just not a fan. Like I'm turning the song off as soon as I'm done talking. So yeah, I hate this remix and I hate the ending of this album. So I'm sorry, I know a lot of you guys like that remix a lot more than the original Face My Fears. That has been the album Bad Mode. I actually had so much fun talking about that. I don't know why I put these things off for so long, but that is obviously how I function at this point. And I am caught up on all of my Utada Hikaru album reviews. So before this album dropped, this past summer and fall, I did finish up with all of the Utada Hikaru albums that I had yet to review. So you can watch all of those in my playlist, which I'll link in the cards. Overall, a very solid release. Really enjoy the vast majority of this release. It's just like the remixes and multi-versions that kind of detract from it. And I still stand by my opinion that I wish there were a little bit more album songs or album tracks on here. And I know it's totally standard and normal for Utada to release singles years before the album comes out. I am aware. You can stop adding me about it, but that doesn't mean I don't get to complain about it. Just to recap, my favorite song is still Time, which is maybe cliche at this point. I love Kibun Janaeno and Bad Mode, and then like my least favorites are the remixes. Yeah, please let me know what you thought of this album down below. I'm really curious about all of your opinions. All of you were waiting so long that a bunch of you went to my speculation like news video to leave your reviews, which I really appreciate as well. I think the thing I've been enjoying the most out of this album is actually how much I feel like I got to know Utada Hikaru as a person and human being through this release. Through all of the Instagram lives and the podcast episodes, interviews. There's a lot of English promo. And on top of that, I think it's Milan Records is now who is representing Utada Hikaru's album. So they've been promoting this every day on Instagram, which is like really refreshing after like pretty much all of Utada's like more recent releases haven't gotten as much publicity, and it had been like 10 years since we'd gotten an English interview. So it's actually been a really amazing release. Just for whatever reason, with me personally, I still feel like Fantôme and Hatsukoi were stronger, like songwriting wise, but that doesn't mean that I dislike this album at all. I still really like it and enjoy all the songs on it. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will see you soon in the next video or in a stream. Oh yeah, also I am going to be reviewing the live that came out with this release with my friend Matthew on a YouTube live, so that will be coming up soon. Now that I've done this review, I can schedule in that one because I wanted to do the review first. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, even if it wasn't the most like glowing review I've done. We'll see you soon in the next video. Bye!